My next guest has been critical of Europe's economic policy for many years. Joining me now, Tressis, chief economist Daniel Lacalle. And Daniel, Bloomberg is calling this event the survival of the richest. I think it would be better titled Squandering Riches, Can Europe Ever Recover? So let's begin first, though, with your thoughts over the fight over Greenland.
The first thing about Greenland is that there are only two options, and this is something that the European media is hiding. There's only the option of Greenland managed and invested with the United States, or Greenland being stealthily taken over by Russia and China. And this second part is what nobody seems to be talking about. The Greenland opportunity is very evident. Since 1959, Denmark has done absolutely nothing about investing and about improving the economic situation of Greenland. It's gone from 150,000 citizens to a bit more than 50. And what it needs basically is very significant investment, but it's more important is that there are so many legal and regulatory burdens that they are shooting themselves in the foot. And what the United States is saying is be very careful, because China has already started what they themselves, the Chinese government, call the Arctic Belt and Road Initiative. They're already building infrastructure. They're already buying companies. They're already investing significantly in order to absorb the minerals and natural resources of Greenland. So it's only two options. And I think that that is what's key. Right now, talking about retaliation and talking about doing nothing is not an option. The only thing that Europe can do right now is to sit down with the United States and reach an agreement that is positive for everybody before the stealth taking over of Greenland is completed by Russia and China.
Let me pick up on that, right? I mean, it's so crazy. You're talking about imposing tariffs, selling U.S. assets. It just seems so ridiculous on their part. They're in trouble. They need to be trying to figure out how to make this. I think everyone involved, all the players must understand, to your point, how they've squandered this opportunity, how, you go back 10 years ago, people talked about climate change and the positives of it. And as it warmed up, these new Arctic routes that would avail themselves. So this is not new. They were caught flat-footed once again. So how does it play out? Can Europe find a way to use this to get their economy back on track?
I think it's a key factor. It's impossible to reach the energy transition that the European governments want without the critical minerals that Greenland, for example, has. So it makes absolutely no sense to try to prevent the investment from Western companies, from US companies, etc., in rare earths, because it's basically shooting itself in the foot, just like what you mentioned at the beginning of the program with Germany and nuclear. So it's absolutely ridiculous to say that Europe is going to use allegedly a nuclear option when they need to issue this year alone a record 1.5 trillion euros of sovereign debt, and it's going to require the support, obviously, of U.S. investors.
Hey, before I let you go, Davos making some changes there, talking about whether or not climate, saying, hey, forget about stakeholders and going back to shareholders. Is there a chance? I mean, many say they've lost their relevancy. Maybe it's an attempt to get it back.
I think it's an attempt to get it back. We have to remember that there's been a very significant shake in the Davos narrative from President Milei, from President Trump, so many people that have started to tell Davos, wake up and start talking about growth, start talking about economic development and free markets, and stop by all these nonsense of interventionism that have only led to higher inflation and worsening of productivity and real wages. So I think that this is a great opportunity for Davos to wake up and simply go back to being a forum of debate on serious issues instead of political narrative.
Yeah, and stop flying in all these private jets and telling everyone else they can only buy one set of clothes a year, that kind of stuff. Hey, Daniel, great work as usual. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.